detail. Submit it to the office of the chair.
Question to Governor Tani.
You are not recognized by the president. I plead the chair. So, okay, Senator Fini.
Governor, again.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. We are here in the joint chambers of the House of Representatives, where the Public Accounts Committee public hearing is ongoing. The Central Bank of Liberia Authority appeared, both past and current. Thanks for joining us.
FIU. Is that a policy of the bank? The central bank policy? Does I report X amount of dollars?
Okay, I said that the commercial banks are regulated by the central bank. And because they are commercial banks, they deal with the public. There's a threshold in the MSCFP rules. The central bank is a regulator, and our clients are the government and the commercial bank. The government will not be money laundering, and the commercial bank will not be money laundering. But because there's a money laundering regulation for commercial, because they interact with the public. So I think that's the difference between the regulator and the reporting entities.
So in essence, we made a regulation that doesn't apply to you. The regulation doesn't apply to you. It applies to
Commercial banks.
Commercial banks.
Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, Your Honor, I just want to provide a clarification. The central bank is the central bank is guided by internationally accepted protocol with respect to money laundering and terror financing. And that is on the basis for which we have a relationship with JABA in line with the ECOWAS protocol, and we're also in line with adhering to the protocol under the U.S. Treasury with respect to money laundering and as well as terror financing. So on the basis of that, technically, we are in adherence with those norms. But on the domestic front, it's our role to ensure that commercial banks are in adherence with respect to the policy.
But that's where I'm going to go.
Yeah.
No. That's where I'm going to go.
Yeah. So technically.
So hold it. Don't say it. So commercial banks observe some suspicious transaction, and they bring it to your attention. They should.
Yeah.
But because your regulation doesn't apply to you and they don't, what are the penalties for that? Are there any penalties, any consequences? Because it seems to me it's a slack regulation. It's when you feel like applying it, you apply it.
Your Honor, just to clarify, we don't have discretionary policy with respect to dealing with commercial banks. There's no discretion in terms of using some optional respect to when we want to apply and what time we want to apply. The first thing, let me just further clarify, Your Honor, if the commercial banks are in violation of the anti-money laundering policy and terror financing, it affects the entire country because JABA does its reporting.
I agree with all of that you want to say. I asked a specific question. And my question is, it doesn't apply to you because you are a regulator. You carve the regulation. If they don't report these kinds of activities, what is the role of the central bank if they don't report? Let me just put it out.
Well, our role as a central bank, if they don't report immediately in violation with the anti-money laundering policy and terror financing in line with the CBO regulatory policy. That's why we do regular supervision of the commercial bank and we do regular bank examination to be able to monitor some of these rates.
So what do you do?
Of course, we do a recommendation for them to be in adherence. If they persistently not in adherence with the policy, then we take appropriate due action with respect to funding. Do you
report them to the FIU?
Yes, we work in line with the FIU. The FIU does not just monitor these banks with respect to treasury financing. The FIU also monitor trade financing with respect to gold, diamond, and as well as other mineral export in the country. So, to some extent, the FIU has a broad function. So they try to delegate some of those responsibilities to the CBO in a point where they don't have the necessary manpower to be able to assess all the commercial banks. So we work in collaborations with the FIU.
Can I
Yes.
Can you give us info as to
Chief, please be recognized by the president. And follow up by Honorable Tom.
Thank you so much. So, what you did by paying individuals 1 million, 2 million, or 3 million over the counter, is it the same thing that's happening in regions around us, like Ghana? Is that practice in Ghana? Is that practice in Nigeria? Is that practice in other countries around?
Your Honor, with all due respect to you, we haven't done empirical assessment across the country for me to give you information relative to how those countries operate. But to the best of my knowledge, the financial system to some extent is not well developed. These are some of the lapses you see, and then in the country as a financial system develops, some of the lapses are corrected.
But the question is, there are lapses, because you can't tell me that you're not part of the Central Bank of West Africa. I find that extremely difficult to believe. And I would find it extremely difficult knowing your capability and ability to sit to tell this committee that you don't know. It's not possible.
Well,
it's not possible. It's not possible.
And Gordon Dugley.
You know that. We know you.
Again, Gordon Dugley, let me be specific to you. Before assuming the positions at Central Bank, can you give just in 10 seconds a summary of the working experiences?
Oh, well,
Please use the microphone.
Well, in 10 seconds, I think.
Please use the microphone.
In 10 seconds, I have working relationship with the UNDP and then working with the Ministry of State as providing economic advisory. And I also work with ECOWAS doing macroeconomic assessment in the ECOWAS countries.
So, in your discharge of the functions, providing macroeconomic assessment, were you able to encounter central banks in the region?
Yes, Your Honor. I led the ECOWAS delegation in Cabo Verde, and I also led the ECOWAS delegation managing Sierra Leone and Liberia.
So the question is, from your experiences, did you notice what is being practiced in Liberia to have payment on the counter of $100,000? Do you notice it being practiced there?
Well, Your Honor, the duty of the scope of my operations under the ECOWAS assessment, they didn't extend to that level of doing macro analysis. We do a broad analysis on the country. So, Your Honor, I want to beg you so that we have the opportunity to do country assessment that we'll be able to inform you.
I think Governor wants to say something.
Mr. Chairman, we duly note the concern of the committee as regards to over-the-counter payments. So in fact, immediately we took over, we did a revision of that. And we engaged our colleagues at the MFDP and raised our concerns with the checks that we were seeing. And we suggested to them that there is a need that we develop a policy that limits payments over the counter. As a central bank, as of today, we have taken a unilateral action, a decision to limit over-the-counter payments to $50,000. We haven't agreed that policy with the Ministry of Finance, but we've started implementing that no payment over the counter will exceed $50,000 United States dollars. So we are developing a policy now. We've asked our banking department to draft a policy that we can share with the Ministry of Finance so that they will also discuss it in cabinet with all of the line ministries and agencies. What we are encouraging them to do is that when payment is made into your account, if you have to pay for goods and services, you actually do issue the check to the vendors. That's what we are trying to achieve currently at the Central Bank. So currently we will significantly reduce the encashment of checks over the counter. So I just wanted to add that bit of information to all the explanations that have been provided by my colleagues.
Okay, thank you. Now, okay, I will look at it. Yeah, and do a follow-up. Only to the current governor.
Thank you, Chair. I did hear you say we have unilaterally taken a decision. I want to know, can you give me the specific portion of your act or your governance manual that gives you the authority to take such unilateral decision?
So, Honorable, there is not a portion of the act that gave us that decision, but our decision was informed based on the concerns raised by the GAC Audit of over-the-counter payments.
So I come back to you to say that you agree that you will be infringing on the rights of people who are going to conduct transactions at CBN, right?
So, as was explained, we are...
Sir?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. No, I just want to know that I want the record. I want to be on the record that you'll be infringing the rights of people. Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Governor, it will be prudent enough while you intend to set a threshold and mitigate the high rates of huge withdrawal, where you work accordingly with the Minister of Finance, who is who is the owner of the depositor money at the bank, to set forth the threshold based on operations of institutions. So please work and do that expeditiously. So then,
Chair, why dropping the microphone? I just want
you are not recognized. Yeah, okay, I have a questions to the team. To the governor. The audit report mentions during the period of the audit, there was a series of expenditure exceeding the budgeted amount. There were revenues that were not projected and that were collected, and your budget was not recast, or there was no supplemental budget during the audit review. AD, can you point out to that particular area, please? Okay, you did. Actual expenditure exceeding approved budget. Can you explain that to us?
So, the analysis done by GAC here, by comparing the cash base to the accrual basis, derived that, brought about that variance they are quoting there. So, we decided in-house to do the analysis to see how they came up with some of the figures. But they are comparing our cash base to our financial statement to say we overrun.
No. Not they are comparing. This budget versus your financial statement. Right?
Correct.
So explain to us what makes the variance. Why this cannot be taken seriously by the committee, or why you think these variances came out about.
So my financial statement has two currency running. I got the Nigerian and the US dollars at zero rates. My cash bill budget is running at different rates. That is at a particular period. Definitely you'll see variance.
Mr. Head of Finance, again, please be reminded that you are on an oath. Please be reminded you are on an oath. I have a definite questions to you. Again, there are variances between your budget and the financial statement. Can you explain? 19 million cannot be as a result of exchange difference. So you have to be definite to the answers. So what caused the variances between the budget and the financial statement?
We have not been able to reconcile GAC variances because my financial statement, for instance, I have an account called motor vehicle. I paid $10,000 for motor vehicle. That line drives straight into my financial statement. So I can be able to point to GAC, 10,000 motor vehicle, 10,000 financial statement. The number they derive, we have tried reconciling that amount, we can't get it.
So before I go further, you are the head of finance, right?
Yes.
Can you give us, for the record, in your department, the top 5 positions?
The director of finance, deputy director, assistant director, I got 2 of them, and senior and principals.
So you have chief accountant? There's no nomenclature of chief accountant?
No.
So yeah, like the assistant director, one of them is chief
Yes,
accountant.
they are financial. And
Okay, then let's go back to your response. I reminded you that you are on the oath. And DAD, can you please go to the response? Only management response.
Management's response. The Central Bank of Liberia prepares its budget on cash basis and financial statement on accrual basis. Therefore, comparing the budget to the financial statement will lead to inaccurate variances since the financial statement includes non-cash items like depreciation and impairments. 2. The Central Bank of Liberia's budget is approved by the Board of Governors and there are strict financial management adherence to the approved budget. Though the 2020 budget was not approved on the face of the budget, but there was a board resolution for the approval consistent with the budget approval process of the bank.
Thank you, DAG. So, Mr. Director of Finance, you see your responses there? The responses to the AD query was you run your budget on a cash base and your financial statement on a accrual base. Now you are giving a different statement. And then, again, I ask you, are you aware of that response?
yes, I am.
So why you stand before us and giving us different answers from me?
So our budget is approved by the Board of Governors. The comparison deriving the variance has to do with the cash versus accrual basis.
So, no, yeah. So, the Director of Finance. Again, sometimes it bothers us to go a bit. Can you explain us, for the record, your professional background?
Accounting major.
Up to
BSc,
what?
2 master's degrees.
2 master degrees. Now, my question to you: can a single financial system work with 2 accounting policies?
I don't understand the question.
Or can a single financial system work with 2 financial policies, like the accrual basis and the cash basis?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why?
It's okay, so there's financial accounting and management accounting.
Yeah.
Budget is for tools for management accountant, and the financial reporting is for financial accounting.
Yeah. So why in the budget, why you don't? Because you use the accrual basis to do your financial statement. Why you don't prepare your budget on the accrual basis? Projecting, being the point historical trend, projecting the depreciation into your budget.
So our budget is for tools used by management. It's not for financial reporting. It's quite different from financial reporting. That is why.
So in your budget, either through a note, because now there's a variance in your justifications on the variances. There is you use accrual basis and the cash basis, but you cannot reconcile the non-cash items. But you said it here
No, I can reconcile my my non-cash and cash item. So what GAC did, I can't.
So again, what you have, your non-cash item, can you be able to present it to the committee now?
Oh, now?
Yeah.
No, we can.
No, Mr. Director.
Okay, so yes.
No. You coming for an audit hearing? We didn't come here to discuss social business. You are aware of everything that is in the audit report. Like we said, this process is due process according to the witnesses. When you come in, you should be prepared enough. We are talking about a variance in your financial statement between your budget and your financial statement of 19 million. You as the director of finance, you should be able to come with justifications. What are non-cash items that you could itemize or year by year, and we could be reconciling between, the difference between your figure and that of the GAC figure. But for you to come here and say that you didn't come prepared with it, it's surprising to us. It completely makes us understand that maybe you don't understand what you are doing.
I apologize for that.
No, it's not apology. It's not about apology. So again, since the auditor and report came out, as director of finance, I know you have you been able to reconcile your figure, reconciling your budget and that of the financial statement?
Yes.
Can you explain to us? If it's not a round figure, but can you explain to us, pay your analysis? What is the difference between your budget and the financial statement? Pay the non-cash item that was not mentioned in your budget.
So, Mr. Chairman, I cannot give you a figure, but I can explain to you. For example, depreciation, those are all non-cash items. Impairment derived from us fair valuing our financial asset. Those are not the cash items.
Who do the impairment evaluation for you?
Oh, we have a model to do that.
Who?
The department.
So it means that there are questions here on the independence of financial statement.
No, so it's vouch. At the end of every fiscal period, we have an external auditor that look at the calculation.
That's why we say, who do it for you?
We do it ourselves. So
that's why I say your financial statement have questions on. You need to have independent body to do that evaluations. You need an external party that will be contracted to do that evaluation. Right now, we as an external party need to look at the fairness of the financial statement. Let us assume that your financial statement fully balanced. You go to the impairment, you increase the figure, or you decrease the balance of the financial statement. But if you have a third party that doing the evaluations, they do it on an independent basis. So we have questions, we have a query to that. You cannot be the one providing information and be the
So Mr. Chairman, we prepare draft financial statement that is vouched by our external auditor. We do not prepare the financial statement and sign off on it. No. It's prepared by Deloitte review and come up with that opinion.
So again, Deloitte review your financial statement, right?
Yes.
Based upon what you present to me.
Correct.
But who does the evaluations of your impairment costs?
Deloitte, our auditor.
So if we must say this, can you present us the overtime schedule of the evaluations?
Yes.
The overtime schedule. The overtime schedule maybe at the end of 2023, Deloitte came and purposely did the evaluation of all your impairment and give and sign on it and say, yeah, we agree to this, and give you year upon year, because there should be an external party that will be contracted solely for the sole purpose of that evaluations.
Yes, every year our draft financial statement are reviewed by our auditor, testing every number that we provided.
So again, let me bring you back. You have been audited up to December 2023, right?
Correct.
With your auditor auditing you for the same, you see the variance about the query that have been raised by GAC.
Oh, so the scope are not the same. So
no, I come. You see the difference. So the question here is your auditor is contracted by you, right?
All right.
Management, right?
All right.
Right?
Yes.
Your auditor don't report to us.
No, you don't.
So GAC report to us. So again, Mr. Governor, take note. The issue of your impediment should be done by an external party that is recognized, that have a professional history of doing so, not by your internal team. We will ask you to provide all the detailed information on the differences between your budget and your financial statement.
All right.
So take note of that before the close of tomorrow. Then before the minute come in and have, a second question to you, to the there's something has to do with the irregularity. Something has to do with the irregularity of the reserve account. It was observed during the audit, the amount amounting to $110,837,196.49 was backed by in 2021, raising the reserve account from 41 million to 152 million. Can you explain to us why that transaction was back value in 2021 instead of the transactional date?
Yes. So the 110 billion has to do with the 110 billion has to do with budget support to the government of Liberia through the IMF. So during 2014 to 2016, there were budget on lent to the government of Liberia. During the 2019 inception of the program, IMF, the CBL, and the Ministry of Finance decided to consolidate all of the government loan. So we created a number of something around 487,000, and of that amount, the 110.
You created a number?
Or we derived or reconciled. Yeah. 110 of that balance came from the online. That was never booked before. Why? Because as a member country of the IMF, we pay our loan from the IMF from our SCR residing there. The program decided that as Liberia pay or reduce for SDR at the fund, government of Liberia should be giving the central bank that money back to increase our FX. Now, we concluded the number during the audit. That was an audit adjustment. And the general reserve account being referred to here is our accumulative income and losses account, and not our international reserve account.
So again, the question go back to you. Let agree is not the international reserve account. It's a cumulative local reserve, right?
No. Accounting, income and losses.
Income and losses, right?
Yeah.
So you had a reserve of 41 million traveling from 2021.
No. The particular, the 110 just came on our books during that period because we had to account for that loan given to the government back then.
So my question, I know what I'm going to, but this transaction you made in 2021, right, had an effect on your reserve locally.
No. So it was just an accounting entry we passed.
Accounting entry have an effect
to our income and losses.
No, accounting entry have an effect.
No,
accounting entry have an effect.
Yes, our increase or decrease. Correct.
So let us not use the nomenclature accounting entry.
Okay.
Yeah, it have an effect because according to the audit report, your general reserve account was 41 million, but after the interest, your reserve went to 152 million.
So what is left out there is the cancellation of that loan entry. So that it's just one side of it being reported. We can show you the journal.
No. Explain to me. You see, if the cancellation.
So what the report came out with is just one leg. So if you look at the other leg, you'll see that those transactions were cancelled and reposted to account relating to the IMF balances.
So my questions to you, I know where I'm going to. Now, it was in 2021 you canceled the transaction and posted it to the respective account.
It was back value.
It was back value to the respective account.
Correct.
Then my question comes about now. Why up to 2021 from 2014? If I may get you clear, right?
So I think it's actually 2020.
No.
The transaction is actually 2020.
These transactions were 2020?
Yeah. So it was an audit adjustment.
No.
It wasn't something that we just did.
I come here. When this amount was disbursed to the government of Liberia?
Oh, way back 2014 to
This is why I'm asking. So I'm asking my question. Wait, then when I ask my question, you understand. As of the time this transaction occurred, why they were not posted?
Again, I will explain. Our membership with the IMF, we have SDR at the IMF. Anytime we take loan from the IMF, we use our SDR there to pay. Anytime the IMF gave us loan, the IMF used our SDR there to pay. So we were not paying back money from our accounts locally to the IMF up to 2019. 2019, government of Liberia, IMF and the CBL decided, okay, instead of us reducing, whenever we reduce your SDR with us, government of Liberia, they loan we get to government between 2014 to 2016, give it back to Central Bank of Liberia. That's how that balance came out. So it's like we have on the account with the IMF that on our book is strictly Liberian hours. Whatever transaction occurred there, they update our secure website and we update our ledger. So those are not transactions that have been posted on our books before because they were being captured through the IMF.
So let us assume what you're saying is information to provide about the GAC state question. Your SDR accounts, how do you account for it on your books?
We got it on our books as IMF accounts.
It's written on your financial statement?
Yes.
So the question here is, then on your books from the inception of the bank?
Correct.
From the inception of the bank, right?
Correct.
So if I may get you clear, it's on your book for every time before this transaction was back by them. Every time you take any loan from IMF or IMF gave you loan, they move to your SDR, right?
Yes. Then we adjust it on our books.
You adjust it on your book.
Correct. With the IMF accounts.
Yeah, with IMF account. So with this interest being passed, do they interest affect your SDR?
They are already affected the SDR.
No. I know what I'm asking. When you took the money, when government took the money, right? The SDR was debited, right?
Correct.
And government account was credited with the cash.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Very good. Now you decide to back value it. When you back value it, historically, what was affected? Right? This back value transaction should be traced to it.
So the entry was posted to government in 2014. Our reserve account coming down, government account going up. All we are doing is to create a receivable. So it got nothing to do with the entry posted. So you borrow $100 from me, I reduce my bank balance, I give you $100. What do? I create a loan account. So it has no impact with the transaction between you and my bank, creating a receivable. So that's all we were doing. We were trying to create a receivable. But initially,
Mr. Sherman, let me just give this into a simple accounting entry. Governor Samoa have $1,500 for us. For every time you borrow from me, I give you $500. We accounted from Governor Samoa. So as of the time you took $500, we reduce your balance with Governor somewhere by 500, making it 1,000. It's a book. Now, after years back, you decide to correct the accounts and create a local receivable at your institution. Now, we want to know, because the back value transaction, we want to know the historical effect it had. Now, if you create a local receivable, now that transaction should not affect Governor Samoa.
So again, I will explain.
No, I'm coming. Okay. It means that you should debit your receivable and credit Samoa, reinstating that this transactions, it will almost be like a regressive to the historical transaction, that this transaction is no longer affecting Samoa, but will be done locally.
So, Governor.
Chairman,
it's just different, right? We receive the money offshore. So to give government that money, we have to reduce our offshore account and increase government account. How do I create a receivable? So in 2019, we had to create this receivable. This was something that I don't want to go. I can go back to government account and take it from there. I can go back. So initially, it hit our reserve account, the other leg. So when we found out, oh no, this account is relating to our IMF account. We have a revaluation account for the IMF. Why don't we move it there? So if you go to the account, the leg GAC is reporting, there's another leg that is canceling out that.
So the GAC keeps saying to you in the audit, like I keep saying to you, that there was no trace, right? There was no trace of this transaction. And
it's correct. There was no trace. It was never on our books.
He's our technician, so he can.
Okay, let me just read to you the AG's position on this issue. We said that management did not make available supporting documents for the back value transactions, evidence of recommendations for reversals by external auditor, journal entry detailing initial and reversal entries and access to the Great Plains software. Therefore, we maintain our findings and recommendation.
So again, I come back to you, Mr. Chairman. As I initially said, he talked about reversal with the SDR. Because historically, you have already reduced it previously. Now, if you did a local, let me ask you, maybe you may be able to provide. If you created a local receivable, what account was debited and what account was credited?
Consolidated loan was debited, and the translation went to the revaluation account of the IMF. No, it didn't impact what we did with the IMF. It does not impact what we did with the IMF.
Why?
Because the IMF accounts are captured on our books in Liberian house. Whatever monthly revaluation the IMF does, our secure website is updated and a separate.
No, you're talking about evaluations. So the evaluations are done based upon rate.
Yeah, so,
right?
Yeah.
So every month you could make an exchange difference. So
exactly.
Very good. So now it's quite different from what I was saying. When you took this loan in 2014, because it raises concern why 110 million was never recorded on your book until 2021.
It was never recorded on our book as a receivable from government.
Yeah, but it was not recorded on your book
as a receivable from government.
So again, I ask you, when we go back to your historical treatment of that amount, when IMF give the money, you reduce the SDR.
Yeah, your PRSG or your EFC will go up. So we got asset and liability with the IMF.
Yeah, I come in now. So IMF increase your receivable and debit your.
No, your liability go up.
Your liability go up. Correct. Now what they are receivable, it will be their receivable on their books.
Yeah, for us, our liability go up.
It will be liability. Now, if you at the time you did the transactions, explain what the transaction effect was.
So, Chairman, let me go back to this. conventionally, government of Liberia not going to be giving us money for on-lend to budget. That is why when the money was given in 2014, 2015, the repayment impacts our accounts at the IMF. But during the 2019 program, it was agreed, government of Liberia, IMF, and
No, we still going by the GAC report.
yeah, I'm coming to it.
I'm asking you a definite question. When the money was taken from IMF in 2013, 2014, 2015, up to the time it was the 110 million, explain to us how it was treated at IMF.
Our liability, our IMF account, our liability went up by those amounts.
By those amounts.
Yes.
So it went up and your SDR reduced.
Yes.
Now,
If your SDR reduced whenever you are making payment. So if they give you money, so the money from the IMF is in twofold or three: balance of payment support, bank reserve accretion, and support to government. So anything the IMF push to us from there, we mirror it on our books. The economists, we got our economists here.
My question is still to you. How it was treated as of the time.
That's what I just explained, Mr. Chairman.
So we
Our liability went up.
Uh-huh.
They call it a PRG. It went up. And our SDR went up.
Yeah.
We mirror it on our books.
Yeah. So
It's mirror on our book. It got nothing to do with government. Till the money we give it to government. It was
okay. Now then when you decide to back body in.
So no, we just didn't decide to. 2019 IMF program brought that up.
Yeah, so it was a decision that you agree along with IMF.
No, we back value because we were already period. So we say we agree with government like
So I'm know what I'm coming to. You back value because you're out of the period.
No, we back yes. We
Yeah,
back
no,
value
out of the
because we're
period.
already
So
correct.
my question has to do with you. When you back value the transaction on complete date, what the interest pass?
Or debit to the receivable and a credit to the revaluation account.
So this evaluation was not impacted previously?
No, you see, it was impacted based on the monthly revaluation of our IMF account. It has nothing with us creating this receivable from government.
So you know what? We want a historical trend, like the Auditor General. I will really start with the Auditor General that there was no trees. There was no trace to the transactions. Because what you're explaining is $110 million. We want to know the accounting entry if we are not going to be double charged, if it's not going to have a double, because some of this money are paying our time. I was not in government, was taking, but my services in government, all my time I have to pay. Our children will pay. So we want to know how it was treated. So give us the transactional histories from 2014, as of the time the loan was taken, the impact they held on the transactions, up to the time you back value.
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
So take that before the end of tomorrow.
Okay.
Senator Finney.
I guess in my introduction, I left one thing out. I also chair the subcommittee on revenue. That brings me to the variance. Sit down. Governor, have you made any dividend payment to the government or contributed to the budget? Oh, you want me to answer?
No.
Made no contribution. Stand up. Anthony, with you. You made no contribution to the budget. Zero.
Not since I joined the Central Bank of Liberia in 2006.
Why?
Because we do not have sufficient retained earnings to distribute.
Well, you got $19 million. Variance. That in the air. You spend it any kind of way you want to spend it. Let me give you the reason why I asked this question. I know your act very well. Your act doesn't exempt you. Central Bank will pay making contribution to the budget. And certain procedures, certain steps. You got step 1 that you have to do X, Y, Z. I think there are 4 steps. The 5th one, you have to contribute to the budget. Because you're making excess money, you're making money. But instead of that, you'll find ways to put the money in social. You're giving somebody $5 million, $1 million, and you can't contribute to the budget. How was the Central Bank established?
$1999.
What is the debt? What is on the books of the Central Bank debt?
I don't understand the question.
Did the government recapitalize Central Bank?
Not since I've been there.
Before you got there, in 1990.
So we took on all of the assets and liability from the.
How much?
I don't have to figure out.
I will tell you, I will help you, $400 million. So now you're making money and you don't want to help the government, but still, we are still carrying that $4 million as part of the debt of the government of Liberia. Not part of our domestic debt. But you're making money and you say, well, you know, the law, and we gave you that law, says that step 1, we got to take care of it. Step 2, step 3, step 4, then whatever is left over, we can make contribution to the budget. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. So, you will not get away with this. This audit is showing us that Central Bank is making money. $19 billion just in the area of debt playing fund. No. Mr. Chairman, I respectfully submit.
Thank you, Senator Finney. So, Senator Connor.
Thank you very much.
After Senator Connor.
I mean, you just saw me leave here because this is how we work here. There's a national security briefing. I'm on the security committee, so I have to go there, and I'm back. Just for the record, I'm also a member of the Banking and Currency Committee, so this is my group here. Let me ask the acting governor, Mr. Governor. Is the Central Bank in good condition? Is it sound? All the scandals, is it sound?
Honorable Co-Chair, yes, relatively. That's how I will answer that question. Because there are a series of reforms that we have to take at the Central Bank. There are policy amendments that we have to either amend or develop to help the Central Bank move forward. So if you ask whether the Central Bank is safe, I would say yes, but relatively.
Thank you. I have a follow-up question, Mr. Acting Governor. We've had 2 transitions since the war ended. Each transition really has been tough on our Central Bank, reputational wise. The role of the bank is to manage our money. At the center of that is to intervene in a way that you control inflation and to build credibility. It's in terms of reputation, is the bank credible?
Mr. Co-Chair, of late, the Central Bank has been in the press for all the wrong reasons. One that derives from the findings of this of this audit. And I think the central bank needs to be rebranded and taken out of the press.
Mr. Chair, I have a few questions to our colleagues and witnesses, specifically on the audit report. But before I start, I just want to ask about your relationship with the International Monetary Fund. Is it good? The IMF. Is the relationship good?
Well, we are moving on a good footing.
Okay.
We are moving on a good footing.
Microphone.
Yeah, your Honor. Is it on? Oh.
Yeah, it's on.
How does it come on? Is it on? It's not on. You know, technology, we are getting old now, so we have to go. Okay, your Honor and Chairman,
Yeah.
I cannot say we've reached the point, but we're progressing towards a good path for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it safe to ask that, given the nature of the bank's relationship with the fund usually undertakes forensic audits of the bank just to make sure that it is sound? Is that safe to ask?
Yes, in fact, several audit has been done, and because of that relationship, we have a co-sourcing of our audit department based on the recommendation of the fund to an internationally and credible audit firm that is currently working with our audit department at the Central Bank.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, for the benefit of those who are here who are non-central bankers or legislators or public finance experts, your answer is yes. The IMF working with you do periodic forensic audit.
Not
of
directly.
the central bank.
It's like the recommendation that we have a co-sourcing arrangement with an internationally credible audit firm that is currently working with our audit department. I think the idea behind that was that when the management team took over in 2019, the audit department had some level of problem, and so the IMF felt that to bring credibility to the central bank operations, there was a need to co-source the audit department with the idea of having knowledge transfer so that they will independently be able to manage. Today, the audit department is relatively strong with an impeccable audit director who's doing a fantastic job at the central bank.
Can you tell us the name of that international credible independent audit organization?
Deloitte. And in addition to that, the IMF recommended the forensic audit and CRO. PwC, I think PwC.
Okay. So, in essence, whether it is to show up a capacity, there is a relationship there that is also doing audits, forensic or otherwise, outside of the GAC, just to make sure that the question I asked the acting governor in terms of soundness and credibility by a third eye outside of the government audit agency is ongoing.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Then that brings me to the issue.
The co-chairman.
Yes.
Just to add, we also had CRO.
Please take this time.
We also had CRO. That's the IMF recommended that we have CRO to do forensic audit of the suspense account. Okay. So they have done that. We have PwC, Tuch, Baker Tilly, and we got all these.
Please use the microphone.
Yeah, so we have all the year, every year we go 3 or 4 audits, international audits. So that in conjunction with the GAC audit, that should give a more solid record. We've got a very good audit team, and we rebuilt our audit department. I think we're very strong.
Thank you, Mr. Governor. I asked the question so that people know that this is a well-scrutinized institution that is carefully reviewed periodically to make sure that governance is right, start my questioning on the audit, I have about 3 questions. So the first question has to do with our obligations as institutions, whoever you may be in this republic, to pay taxes to the government. They asked that question. The Auditor General talked about the non-remittance of income taxes withheld from CDL staff. Have you addressed that?
Yeah.
Did they ask that question here? I don't want to repeat anything. Okay. Well, I don't know what your answer was.
Okay.
Is it dead? Can you give him this one?
I'm sorry, Mr. Co-Chair. So, that question was asked partly. However, the GAC audit mentioned that the CBL withheld income tax and did not remit to the Revenue Authority. We provided GAC with evidence of that, however, it was captured in the report. So what the current management team did was something I think GAC would have also done, was to write LRA and ask them for confirmation. And LRA provided, not just LRA, also Social Security, they provided CBO with confirmation that CBO has paid all withholding taxes, even above what GAC mentioned in the audit report.
Okay. I don't want to take us back since I that. How about on the GST that was mentioned in the report? The non-withholding or a remittance of GST, goods and services taxes, for goods and services.
Yeah, so that was clarified. That is actually true. But so the GST audit is correct on that. The LRA did a review of the CBO in 2023, and that was rectified. CBO has begun paying or withholding all GST and remitting them monthly. Yes.
Mr. Atingo, this is an area of time. We are here in this special session to recast the budget because the government is unable to raise revenue to finance the entire budget, and we are afraid to do deficit financing because politically it's not good. I was Minister of Finance, they called me budget shortfall because I was the brave guy who did deficit financing. Because we should not be pushing contractionary fiscal policy, given what we've been through. We should be expanding, and you expand by spending above your budget to a certain percentage, as long as it is not above 5%. But most people don't understand that. So the point I'm making is that we need to remit taxes. And one of the areas where the LRA is struggling is the goods and services taxes, CIT, the custom, international trade, taxes, and so on, and also SOEs. Maybe we as a government don't want to go after SOEs, we don't want to push the LRA too much, so we want to accept that we should there are these partners, etc., that we can finalize trash on the street and so on. But that's not what you're here for. Just do your part. Whatever services are provided to the Central Bank, before you make payment, take out the taxes and remit it immediately because we need the money. All right. My other question has to do with the Auditor General's observation on the constitution of the Monetary Policy Committee not being fully constituted. Did anybody ask that question to you? Okay. So, as the institution responsible for managing our monetary policy, to me, this is a serious governance issue because this should be next to the Board of Governors, one of the first things that you should have there to help inform board decisions on this one. I am concerned about that. It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with payment over the counter. This basically, as a compliance audit, speaks to your weakness as a central bank. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes, Mr. Co-Chair. Again, like we indicated, immediately we were appointed, we took note of all of the findings of the GAC. So within the first month of our appointment, we reconstituted the NPC. And the NPC has met already for the very first time, although not fully constituted, but we have 2 members from the private sector that are supposed to join that NPC. But we've taken that responsibility from the board, and that responsibility now rests with the NPC committee. So, Mr. Co-Chair, we now have an NPC committee reconstituted, and by the end of September, we should have the full membership of the NPC.
Thank you. You can have a seat. Thank you. The other question I have, that the Auditor General, I think, raised upfront, has to do with something that we as individual PAC committee invited the Governor Talo here on, that has to do with lending to the government. Did somebody ask that question? I don't want to repeat. No. All right. So can you please show this is important, Mr. AG. The 50 and the 30. So the point is, the government that reported budget surpluses year on year was borrowing from the central bank to pay wages, public sector wages. That's what this is showing. But then, my question is, are we servicing those debts now?
Yes.
I mean, when I say we, the GOL, is the GOL
Yes.
servicing
Yes.
the 80+ million debt that you lend it to us?
Yes, and we even went further, Mr. Deputy Chair, by separating the loans, separated from the consolidated loan. We separated from the consolidated loan, having all as a standalone loan.
Okay. You know that loan was not captured in the budget.
I think, let me just follow in support of him, just to provide a specificity of this arrangement. We entered an arrangement with the IMF program, the Ministry of Finance, for the interest to be paid beginning January 2025.
That would look like I'm coming to that point.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we are servicing it. Did not see it in the budget proposal. And
So thanks for following us. This is how we like to go off on this live broadcast. We will be coming back on shortly. We'll stay here in the chambers of the House of Representatives. Sorry, in the joint chambers of the House, where the Public Accounts Committee is having the public hearing with the Central Bank governors, officials, past governor, current governor. Thanks for following us. Bye-bye.